What's going on, guys? My name is Omar.
My name is Steven.
And you're watching Gameday Nation Athletics.
Episode 23.
You know why I'm excited?
What are we excited for, man?
I'm excited because this weekend we had live sports.
Praise to the Lord.
Bundesliga. On top of that, I'm also upset. The Last Dance
Last Dance.
finished. The 2 episodes finished yesterday. That's mean. That's really mean. But let's get to it. We're going to start off with The Last Dance. And then we're going to move on to the Bundesliga, our review about it. Then we're going to move on to the Ronney Rule.
The Ronney Rule with NFL and Harrison.
Yeah, James Harrison.
Going back to what he said about getting enveloped by Mike Tomlin, his former head coach. So let's get it, man. You watch Gameday Nation Athletics. So we already know last episode, it's 9 and 10 for The Last Dance. Overall, I want to ask you a question. Because before the whole series started, people were saying, like, oh, people are going to, like, have different opinions with Michael Jordan and his character and as a person, right?
Yeah, he's still a mean dude, but yeah, keep going.
So has anything changed for you before you watched this and now that you watched the whole thing? Has your perception of Jordan has changed at all?
Well, hearing, to be honest, nothing really had, changed when I watched it. I already knew that he was a great guy because obviously hearing other people talk about it and stuff like that, hype him up. I just did not really know the full extent of it. I think what really did change is his work ethic. I didn't really know the full extent of how he really performed each game, day in, day out. And on top of that, how much he wanted to win. I did know that his father did die, but I didn't know he had another father figure as well.
Gus,
of course.
Yeah.
But I feel like he did have a bigger ego. I think watching it made me realize how big his ego was.
Oh, it was.
But on top of that, he was kind of selfish, but wasn't at the same time. More for Scottie Pippen's sake, because when Scottie Pippen wanted to request a trade and stuff like that, and he sat out, Jordan did say that he's being selfish, being stingy. I mean, the dude was give his money, but when he did it, it was all right. It's okay. So, I think we saw how you really felt about winning and stuff like that.
He has been through a lot.
Yeah, he has through press hate, through losses of family members, through winning championships.
He had to go through injuries in his early stages of his career.
Early in his career, yeah, man, it's crazy. But I honestly feel like Jordan, you always be great, but now the debates change with the whole Michael Jordan and LeBron talk.
Oh, man.
The real question that everyone talks about, who is better, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? Seeing this documentary makes you wonder, do you really think LeBron James is better than him? Because this documentary, it showed a better insight of what Jordan really did. For the younger viewers who haven't seen his
because everyone has seen LeBron, how he plays and whatnot, right? Exactly. But not a lot of us younger generations see how Michael Jordan did it back then. But one thing I realized is that it was pretty rough back then because you had the bad boy Pistons
and the Pacers.
Yeah, the Pacers, because Jordan said other than basically he said both the Pacers and the Detroit had given the hardest fought battles in the East.
Yeah.
So they gave him a run for this money. But now when LeBron was in it with the Heat, when he was with the Cavs, who was really their competition in the East? I mean, they can say the Pacers were a competition for the Heat.
Yeah, the Pacers were hot that time. You're right.
Yeah,
that's right.
But it always seemed like the Heat had the better team, right? And then when LeBron went to the Cavs and they had their 4 straight finals run, they didn't really have that much of competition, honestly. You had the Celtics in there, you had the 76ers, but didn't really do much to give them a big enough competition for the Cavs.
Yeah, until the biggest competition they really had was the West teams, and
yeah, I mean, because the West was a lot more competitive compared to the East.
However, the West were filled with shooters, so we had to keep that in mind. And LeBron, even though he's an all-around type of player, but it's not really that much players who will get up on him, really bodying him and stuff like that. I mean, Iguodala, don't get me wrong, he could be one of those players because he did win Defensive Player of the Year and MVP, Finals MVP as well.
MVP Finals for their first championship.
Yeah. So I mean, he's an exception because he's good. He's a great defensive player. But with Jordan, every player really was a defensive player. I mean, you
Honestly,
can't just label who is the best defensive player of that year because every team had the best defensive player.
Because you see someone like Dennis Rodman, when he had that championship run with the Bulls, this man had like 0 points at most, at most probably 10 points or something like that.
Yeah.
But this man, what made him great was he had like 20 rebounds a game type thing. This man was a monster out front.
So yeah, man, I feel like with his documentary, it gave me a better insight on Jordan's whole career. His really, I don't know, his personality.
Well, I do want to talk about from episode 9 to 10 about the Pacers, the '98 Pacers, and how they gave that run with the Bulls and whatnot in the Eastern Conference Finals. It was pretty close. But what surprises me is that I felt like the Pacers had the better team.
Pacers obviously had a better team. I mean,
they had a better team than
the Bulls was an aging team.
It was.
I mean, it's like playing against old men. Like young bucks playing against old men.
And then the Pacers were a young group of team.
What young team really wanted it, but it happens like that.
Honestly, and Reggie, bro, it was like a walking bucket. It was clutch. It was clutch all over.
Sometimes you gotta think about the '85 Magics. Remember, it was it '85?
Well, are you talking about the '90s?
Or is '95? I don't remember.
When
did Shaq go in the league?
It was somewhere in the '90s.
'90s?
Yep. Definitely wasn't the '80s.
Yeah, '90. All right, so it was '95. I think it was '95, and Shaq just got in the league and stuff like that, and they were a dominant team. They had high expectations to go to.
Remember, Horace Grant did went to the Magics too.
Yeah, they were high expected team to win championships and stuff like that. Young team, very dominant, very big, and it happens sometimes. If you really want it and you're young, you really try to pursue it. However, you might not have the experience, but I don't know. Do you believe that youth beats experience?
No, because like I said, the Pacers did have the better team, but it was experience and championship caliber that the Bulls had. The chip on their shoulder that they ultimately won a series against the Pacers. Pacers were the better team, but not a lot of them had like experiences like that heading to the finals and etc. Compared to the Bulls when they had it. And experience did beat up the younger studs, and the Bulls went into the Jazz. And I still remember they only had a 2-game break before going to the final against the Jazz.
Yeah.
And the Jazz also seemed like the better team than the Bulls.
Every team during that whole race was a better team than the Bulls. When you really
no.
I'm not saying every team, but not hypothetically.
It was supposed to be, that '98 season, it felt like a lot of teams were better than, but they ultimately won. But before that, I felt like the Bulls were always the better team.
Yeah, by experience, of course.
No, but by skills as well, like by the court. There were ballers out there. Remember?
But I understand that. However, I feel like the Jazz, what's the other team? The Pacers. They could have won. They honestly could have won.
I feel bad for Jazz fans though, because they won 2 straight championships, but you did have to face the Bulls. So what you think was gonna happen? I think that was their only times to win an NBA championship, but it ultimately went down against Jordan. You can't beat that, honestly, and his experience and whatnot. But damn. Take a moment and just recognize the Jazz uniforms back then. I think those were like one of the best throwback uniforms.
The best.
Yes, of NBA. You see, they still wear it now because you know how the Jazz been wearing the throwback uniforms sometimes.
Yeah.
Bro, they're so fresh, man. They're so fire. I don't know, man. There's something about the uniforms I just rave about. I'm about to buy me a Jazz uniform, a throwback uniform. And let's talk about the city of Salt Lake, man. Shout out to everyone watching from Utah. I love the city over there, man. The mountains. Y'all gotta buy me over there to a Jazz game, or a BYU game, or a Utah Utes. Gotta buy me out to a game, y'all. Give me a shout out. What you say? What you gonna say? I'm a wall rider or whatever, or what's it called? Bandwagon.
No, you bum. Look, First of all,
I'm about to buy me a Chargers uniform, a Jazz uniform, a Dolphins uniform.
All you Miami fans out there, he's not really a true Miami fan.
How? Lies.
Every time there's a new uniform that comes up, he switches.
Because I like the uniform doesn't mean I like the team.
Out by now, every time a new uniform comes out and he likes it, bam.
That doesn't mean I'm not a fan of them, but I just like the uniform. So
you're saying you're not a fan of the
Jazz? It's a style.
You're not a fan of the Jazz?
The Jazz.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Donovan Mitchell a lot.
But watching the documentary, you're not a fan of the Jazz?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I see what I mean. Look.
You gotta give him respect.
You give him respect.
I give him respect to the Jazz, definitely.
I'll give you benefit of the doubt.
You better. Anyways, but one thing that you already know, throughout this whole series, there was one thing in common. Jordan, he had all that motivation. You tick him off once, he's gonna get at you. Brian Russell talking all that trash. Well, Jordan was retired. Jordan went to a training facility for the Bulls, practicing a little bit while he with his baseball stint. And Brian Russell saying like, "Oh, why'd you retire? You retired because you know I'll beat you, huh?" Big mistake, man. You already know if you trash talk to Jordan, he gonna get out and get you. And that's exactly what happened throughout the series. He just went all over Brian Russell, man. Oof.
Did I not tell you the story how I played a pickup basketball game with Jordan?
You did?
Mm-hmm. It was like I did a little step back.
I did with Larry Bird. I did with Larry Bird back in the 80s.
Back in the 80s?
Yeah.
You're a liar because you weren't born in the 80s.
Yeah, just like how you played a pickup game with Jordan. That's also a lie. That's like me saying I went out and played with Larry Bird back in the 80s.
Why are you discrediting my statement?
That's false, bro. You would have been made it known. No, you probably would have posted it all over social media.
I really wouldn't because he's very a discreet guy. So I gotta sauce him up a little bit. I
bet you got crossed up too. Even if that were to happen, you probably get crossed up.
First of all, I was embracing my Allen Iverson, and I got him on the floor.
I saw a tweet by Allen Iverson. Not a tweet, but it was a quote by I think it was ESPN or SportsCenter, saying that, "Yo, Iverson, how come you never lifted weights?" He was like, "Nah, those things were too heavy." That's why he was so skinny.
See, my question.
But imagine if Iverson really put in that work ethic and really built up his body.
Not just that. Imagine he can actually shoot more, because Iverson isn't really a shooter. I mean, he can score points. Don't get me wrong.
But I feel like Iverson wasn't. He didn't max his true potential.
I don't think so.
I feel like he had a lot more to give. He was already a good player already.
Yeah.
But imagine if you put in that extra work in. I feel like this man would have been like the decade, like the player of the decade at that time. Because I don't know, it's sad to see. But hey,
my question is, how come they didn't show Michael Jordan getting dropped by Iverson?
I mean, that was towards when did Iverson come in the league? Like late 90s, right?
Late, yeah.
He was a rookie at the time.
I don't mean nothing. Man, a rookie still dropping him. Look, that's what I did to Jordan too.
Yo, that was I forgot who it was. I think it was a 97 finals where I think he shoved Jordan. I forgot the player's name. He shoved Jordan and he went for the three.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, I was like, no, that's crazy. And then it was one of those games. I think I don't remember if it was the 98 or 97 finals where Jordan had the last shot and it was airballed. Look,
that's what you do, man.
I do. How do you know that? We never played basketball together.
Anyways,
let's talk all that smack, bro.
Yeah, man.
And let's talk about that food poisoning game, not the flu game, the food poisoning game. How they got 5 guys out there deliver pizza. It's like, doesn't that be sound suspicious to you?
See, I feel like a big name like Michael Jordan calling for pizza, because most likely you gotta get the name right of the person who you calling for, right?
Right.
When you're ordering pizza.
But no, you don't put it. Oh yeah, it's for Michael Jordan. You can put a different name.
But let's say that he just said his full name is Michael Jordan. So maybe. This means if some guy said, "Oh, I'm picking up pizza. What's your name? Michael Jordan." And where's your address and stuff like that? You give a hotel. Wait a second, the Bulls are at this hotel. Wait a second, Michael Jordan's at this hotel. I'm speaking to Michael Jordan. Call up my boys. I'm the pizza guy.
Jordan didn't call the pizza though. It was his trainer.
I need you to go with it.
No, false information, bro.
False information? No, real information. And then call it up, right? And then bam. If I do so, it doesn't. And it don't have to be suspicious. It could be like big fans.
But look what happened that same night. He got food poisoning. He's like throwing up and everything. He's curled up in the ball in the bathroom floor.
Hey, it doesn't mean it has to be intentional. Maybe the pizza was just dirty. They didn't sanitize it.
Probably so, but they had something to do with it.
I don't think so, man. I don't think so.
I believe they did.
I think the 5 guys just wanted to see Michael Jordan, wanted an autograph.
But they're Jazz fans. But still, I mean,
who cares? You could be any type of fan and not. So you saying Michael Jordan walks up in this building, you would not have his autograph?
I want a picture, not an autograph.
Okay, same difference.
We gotta remember.
But you're a Heat fan, though.
Yeah, I'm a Heat fan. But at the time, though, because it was in the finals, okay. Jazz versus Bulls. You gotta rep your team.
Miami Heat. Bam, finals, right? The Warriors, bam, finals. Curry walks up in the joint. You just gonna say, "Oh, look at that, it's Curry. That's it. Let him go."
Probably.
You're not gonna take a picture with them.
Probably not.
Oh, you're lying. You're lying. You're lying to me right now.
I'm like, oh, it's not Curry. I'm like, what's up, Curry?
You know what? Comment below. Do you believe? Let's say your team goes to the finals, right? And the opposing team star comes to you. And what will you do? Will you take a picture of him, or you just like let him go, like let him leave? Just it is what it is.
One more. One thing about this flu game though with Jordan, it kind of reminds me back in the actually I think it was the same year, 98. No, when did Jordan get his flu game? 97 or 98? It was 97. 97. Okay, so the next year after 98, it was the World Cup final. It was Brazil versus France, right? The big star named Ronaldo.
Big star.
So the night before the game, I believe people were saying he had a seizure or something like that. He was nauseous. And he was sick. He was basically
he was sick. He was horrible.
Yeah. So he collapsed and whatnot. And then people weren't sure he was going to start the game. He literally came into the stadium 40 minutes before the game started and put him straight into the starting lineup. And if you, all my soccer fans out there, if you know anything about the 98 World Cup, you know, France destroyed Brazil in that final. And Ronaldo was not himself at all. But... So it kind of reminded me of that, but it's just like it's just different. Jordan came out and he dominated in this flu game or flu.
But you have to understand.
But Ronaldo,
that's a whole different.
I understand.
Ball game right there.
I'm just putting it out there. I thought it was interesting
how both stars were sick during their championship game.
Yeah, the night before, like man, Jordan looked terrible that game. Like in the beginning, you could tell he was not at it.
Well, but he still
he dominated. He dominated.
Now that's bring back to talk. Do you think he's better than LeBron? Because he did. He
is. I gotta say that. But one thing I do like about this documentary about episode 9 and 10 is they really showcase Steve Kerr's career.
Oh yeah. See, people, even though he said himself, he wasn't a great basketball player, but hey, at least he could try. You know, practice makes perfect. Even though he wasn't perfect, but he got the job done, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm happy for him. They actually showed, they actually represent Steve Kerr. You know, just giving him props.
Yeah.
Kudos to him.
Rest in peace to his dad.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. to his dad for sure, man.
And terrible loss. And bro, like one thing that was insane. Imagine if Ramen was in this generation. Ramen going to what WCW with Hulk Hogan throughout the finals,
bro.
And he missed practice.
First of all, this man left practice altogether. That is that's thug. That is.
I feel like Ramen can only do this. Nobody else can. Cause bro, Ramen, he said himself, it was like, bro, when I'm in the court, I'm giving you my 100%, and that's true. And that's true.
He does, but man,
he never disappoints. I feel
like
he's
just gonna leave.
Ramen is one of those guys to me. Is like, it looks like to me. I could be wrong, but when I look at the film, when I'm watching docuseries, he doesn't look committed. Like he's just like, I'm just here to play ball. That's all.
Yeah,
and he just dominates.
He has that persona of like, I'm here to do my job. And after I do my job, I do my own thing.
Exactly. And he said, look, I found time to go over there for WCW with Hulk Hogan, do some wrestling, slam someone in the chair with that. I had time for that. Yeah. And he did make time. He was a busy man. This man never even wanted to stay home. He was out doing something crazy. Mm-hmm. Either going to Vegas, doing wrestling. And during the final, bro, in the NBA finals, I know how crazy. Imagine if this would have happened in this age, bro. Social media would have gone crazy.
See, they didn't have.
Bro, the media would rip apart Ramen so much. They would rip him apart.
Bro, I could hear Stephen A. Smith yelling.
Oh my god!
All you sports fans, obviously, you guys know who Stephen A. Smith is, and you could just hear him stuttering, yelling, blasting. Max will most likely defend him. Because I think that's
bro. And Phil Jackson understood what he had to do. You know,
like, and you can hear Shannon Sharp skill. Let me tell you something, skill. Big fan of you, Shannon Sharp.
Bro, but it's just ramen. And then day after, you know how he's trying to escape like 300 media cameras outside? Like they were waiting for him. He had to sneak through. And we saw like behind the scene footage of him escaping, bro. I thought it was crazy. That was funny, man.
Bro, this man is only him.
Ramen, what a one of a kind player, man.
Only him.
My respect for Ramen has gone so high. But like before this docuseries with Ramen, I'm like, Ramen's a weird dude. He
still is a weird dude. I mean, this man went to Korea and totally got shunned.
This man was sitting next to Kim Jong-un.
Bro, that makes no sense.
Only Rodman. Only Rodman.
No one else does that. Who out everyone in the U.S. This man Rodman.
Hey man, much respect for Rodman. Also, I gotta say this. That clutch shot by Jordan when for the Game 6 in the '98 season, basically his last shot as a Chicago Bull. What an iconic moment. The photos, the video, the anticipation. And then the player, like Rodman was saying, like, oh, like, I know he gonna pass the ball to me. Like, everyone was just waiting for it because everyone knew Jordan was gonna take that shot. Wow.
See, even though that was his last shot, this man retired 3 times. He couldn't make up his mind on how he wanted to retire. He retired one time, went to baseball, right? Then obviously kind of sucked, but came back. Then he retired the second time after the finals, bro.
I mean, because he did. There was nothing else to succeed. He won 3 championships in that second three-peat.
Right. Then, you know.
And he was old, too.
Yeah, he was old. He retired. Then he came back in 2001. He wanted to play for the Wizards for 3 years.
Because I think he was the team president at the time. And then the team was struggling. He's like, you know what? I'm going to suit up. Why not?
Right. Then he retired again. 3 times. 3 whole times. I don't know. I feel like you just can't stay away from basketball. Because, I mean, he's still, the GM for no, I don't think he's a GM for the Hornets, right?
He's the owner, like partial owner.
Partial owner, yeah.
Yeah. Jordan, man, what a career. And his post-career, too.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Saw he was worth like $2 billion.
Bro, a lot of money, man. A lot of money.
Multi-billionaire, bro. You love to see it, man. But one thing we can never erase the fact, though, I know a lot of people got a bunch of hate for Jerry Krause. I give him credit. He did build that team.
He pimped out everyone on that team.
But he did, I mean, ultimately, yes, after, he disbanded everybody, he traded Pippen to Houston, which he got his big money, got $23 million a year salary.
Finally, but at the end of his career, come on.
Sure, and he wasn't his self when he was with the Bulls. But hey, Steve Kerr ultimately got traded. Rodman got released, but he went to the Lakers for 1 season when the Lakers team was young with Kobe and Shaq. And Jordan retired, obviously. And who am I missing? That's about everyone, right? But basically,
Pippen. Oh, you already said Pippen. Yeah, you're right.
And then the only player that was still there from that championship team was Kukoc. Kukoc was there for 1 season, and after being the bottom of the East and bottom of the division, he ultimately got traded too. And that was a player that Jerry Krause was like all over for. He was praising him, but he ultimately got traded.
Obviously,
that's so weird as a Bulls fan. You come a season after you win the championship, and next year you're like a bottom of the East.
Right.
Like a brand new team.
At the top, but then all the way at the bottom. That's horrible.
That's horrible.
Then they went rebuilding mode, and we already saw what happened.
And still rebuilding to this day.
The last time they had a good team was with D Rose.
I think it was 2011.
Wild Dang, and Joakim Noah.
Carlos Boozer was there too.
Oh yeah, Carlos Boozer.
But they lost the.
Joakim Noah was part of it, right?
Yeah, Joakim Noah was there.
Okay.
But they lost the first round against the 76ers. But Derrick Rose did have that injury.
Yep, ACL, man.
And they lost. They lost in the first. I think they were the first place team in the East.
I don't remember.
Or second team, second seed. But
it's been a long time.
They lost 4-2 against the 76ers because Derrick Rose injury. And that was like the best successful season. And remember, Derrick Rose was the MVP. But the far as they gone throughout after the whole Bulls run, I think it was 2015. They made it all the way to the semis against the Cavaliers. That was the same game when Derrick Rose made that clutch shot. I believe it was in Game 3 at Chicago. And his like, what was that look? He made the shot and he just had a straight face while everyone was like hugging him and everything.
I remember.
One of those iconic moments.
He always has that straight face look. He doesn't look like he'll ever smile.
He smiled. Yeah, he's got a big personality. But when he made that shot, he was just like, it's whatever. And then people are just like hugging him. And they're like, yeah, you did it.
You know what that reminded me of? That remind me of gotta play Damian Lillard.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he didn't smile whatsoever.
Yeah,
Made a shot and didn't smile.
Yeah, so that was the farthest the Bulls went to the conference semis back in 2015. But man, like they're still rebuilding to this day.
Yeah, man, it's kind of rough.
But
see it.
Wanting to end the Last Dance docu-series, thank you for the people at ESPN, NBA, and the director of The Last Dance, because y'all gave us something to look forward to for these 5 weeks during this pandemic with no live sports. Y'all gave us something to look forward to every Sunday at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So thank you. It's been a run. The Last Dance. Much respect, yo. Want to add anything to that?
Not at all.
All right, well, this wraps up The Last Dance. We're going to head over to the Bundesliga. As we all know, they completed. Not completed. It was the first. Well, yeah, completed.
Yeah, completed the first restart or recap.
First weekend of Bundesliga after post pandemic. Still is pandemic.
It still is pandemic during pandemic.
But they made it happen. So I'm gonna give you a quick rundown here.
A real live game. Not discrediting Korean baseball, but a real live game to look forward to.
So a quick recap of all the scores right here, real quick. Borussia Dortmund, they beat Schalke 04. 4-0. You got Augsburg versus Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg won 2-1. You have Fortuna. I'm not even trying to say that name. Fortuna against Paderborn 07. It was 0-0, 0 game. All right. You got the Red Bulls against Freiburg. That was a 1-1 game.
I'm proud of you that you said that right.
Yeah, I know.
I would have totally butchered it.
I said this right earlier. Hoffenheim, right? They lost against Berlin, Hertha Berlin, 3-0. Berlin won 3-0. Frankfurt versus Borussia, I'm going to say Gladbach, because I'm not saying that. Mönchengladbach. I'm not trying to say the whole thing. But Gladbach, I'm going to say for sure. They won 3-1 against Frankfurt. Then Sunday, Köln, they tied with Mainz. I believe you say that, 2-2. And then FC Union Berlin, they lost against, the best team in Bundesliga, Bayern Munich. They won 2-0. Now, one thing that I've noticed, and by the way, today, Monday, we have a matchup at 2:30. Werder Bremen versus Bayer Leverkusen. I believe that's how you say it. That's today at 2:30. That's like, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's like 8 o'clock in Germany. All right, so stay tuned for that. But I do want to say this, and this comes back to the argument that I had last video. I believe it was Friday or Wednesday. That even the last place teams, like the bottom teams, they still give up a fight, because honestly, that Berlin game against Bayern Munich, and Berlin is the top team. They had the best talent and coaches, right? But it felt close, because remember, this game would have been 1-0 if it wasn't for the penalty for that game. So even you could also say that the players were rusty, haven't been playing for a while now.
I mean, I understand that, but you're a professional player.
But you see the bottom team still like performing out there. And I understand Schalke, they lost 4-0 against Borussia, because Borussia is the dominant team. But to me, they still had a fight to them.
It wasn't really no.
I mean, it was the goalkeeper.
The goalkeeper was being destroyed and the whole game. Not discrediting the goalkeeper. I understand you're just coming back from time and rest and stuff like that for a long, time. However, if you watch the game, and when they hit their second goal, I'm talking about Borussia, right? Yeah. When they hit
Dortmund.
When they hit their second goal, you see the frustration on this man's face. I feel like they should have changed out the goalkeeper. Just learn.
Bro, you never do that in soccer, though.
I understand that, but this man was getting frustrated. After you started getting frustrated, you started to really, I don't want to say discredit yourself, but you starting to get worked up and do the wrong moves and do the wrong stuff. I feel like during half they should have changed out.
Nah, bro, but that never happens in soccer where you just switch out your goalkeeper.
I understand that. However, at this moment,
it's like saying you switched. Well, actually, no. It's
no.
Nah. Yeah, it wasn't like that,
bro. All I'm saying, they should have switched him out, because when you actually see him play, it was pretty bad. Like, I'm not trying to discredit him whatsoever, but he was just being exposed during that whole game.
I do want to give a shout out to Erling Haaland. I think it was a 19-year-old kid. Oh, he's a young kid. He's 20 years old,
young kid.
There were reports saying, like, how come you didn't want to go play in the Premier League? Well, they were saying because, well, they would have put him in the under 23. Basically, the minors.
Yeah, the minors.
They would put him in the minors. But he also wanted to play in the Bundesliga because he knew it would be like part of, the starting group.
Yeah.
So shout out to him. He had a phenomenal game. I'd say as much. But, Omar, let me ask you this.
What are you trying to ask me?
All right. So, how was your experience watching the Bundesliga? Like, there were no fans, right?
No fans, yep.
And you got to see German football. First time, right?
First time.
So how'd you feel about this? How you feel your experience watching it on Saturday?
All right. So when I was watching it, I felt like I was watching like a normal soccer game, right? But it was different. I didn't feel as much as excitement like you would see like with the fans and stuff like that, because when you see your fans around, you start to feel that energy. Like, wow, a lot of expectations. A lot of emotion, upbringings, and downfalls.
Because German football fans are passionate. They're passionate fans.
And I've seen how passionate they are previously. But now seeing no fans whatsoever, it was kind of weird. Watching this made me feel like it can be just like background noise or something like that. Or just have it on in the background and just have it on.
Yeah, they have some like fans chanting on audio.
They have some audio, but it didn't feel the same.
I mean, I thought it was fitting. I think it was better than just have completely silent playing.
Yeah, and if you watched on the sidelines, if you see the coach spot and the players who are sitting on the bench, majority of the players are also sitting on the stands as well to comply with the social distancing order. So they had to be separated. The ball boys, before the players got on the field, they had to wipe down the balls. I thought that was interesting. At the end of the game, the refs, they dap each other up by using their cleats. I thought that was also interesting as well. I think it was kind of weird. With celebrations, it wasn't as much emotion as you see, of course.
That's not really much you can do, and you can't like hug your teammates.
However, there was one incident where the player did hug and kiss his teammate after scoring, but the league isn't going to fine him or anything like that. They just gave him a warning saying you can't do this, but this is just...
And what's unique about soccer when this whole pandemic going on is that you're not really touching the ball with your hands.
Yeah.
Because the only player that gets to touch the ball is the goalkeeper, but they have gloves on.
Unless, you're doing...
when you're throwing the ball on the side and out of bounds, that's true. But like that's one unique about the sport soccer, because with this pandemic going on, because basketball you got to touch with the hands, you're passing it to your teammates and whatnot. Football as well, but in soccer you basically using the majority with your feet.
However, if you did see the Friday video, Premier League was thinking about taking away tackling.
They should not. Honestly, I think it's ridiculous.
The reason why is another form of touching. Or getting really close. I don't know why they should take it away, because it makes no sense. It's like saying players can't touch each other whatsoever.
Because remember, Omar, when you're tackling, you're using your legs to tackle the other legs. So doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe it's because you're tripping over and you fall on. I think that's what they're trying to worry about. But I don't understand why they're going to take that away. It obviously makes no sense.
It's ridiculous that they're also talking about reducing the time.
Yes, they are.
Which is honestly ridiculous. Come on now. Because there's a reason why FIFA has given the okay to have 5 substitutions when normally it's 3. So 5 is like if a player gets tired of one, and switch them out, because now you have more availability to do that. So why minimize that? Stick with the 90 minutes. That's how soccer is. That's how that's how you gotta roll.
Yeah.
Don't change anything, honestly. I mean, no fans and whatnot, and wiping down the balls and everything. Coaches and bench players wearing masks and everything. That's fine. But don't take away the game of football, the game of soccer, or in German terms, Fußball. Don't take that away. So come on now.
The question is, where are the fans? Right? Usually it's always packed. Usually, where are the fans at this time? Well, I'll tell you. Some fans camped out outside the stadium, of course.
For real?
Yeah. Some did camp out. Some went to their local bars. Obviously, there's like a limited amount of people who go into local bars. It's not like the U.S. where you really can't go in. Right?
Well, in some parts of the U.S.
Yeah, some parts. My bad. Some parts.
I know it's like that here in South Florida.
Yeah.
But like in
some
other
parts
places,
of the U.S. you really can't go in. But there you can. Some wears masks, some don't. But it'd be like that. Some other fans, they actually are at the house, either camping or at a bar. Those are really
at the house, having a little, having a house party, drinking beer. How usually Germans be doing it when they watch the soccer, just drink beer, bro. That's all they do. having a good time, watch your favorite team play, either get blown out or win
There's a lot of those.
I mean, the only blowout was two blowouts. Hertha Berlin beating Hoffenheim 3-0, and then Dortmund beating Schalke 4-0, right? So that was our only blowouts. Nothing too major. There's a couple draws out here and there, but honestly, great weekend for soccer.
It was a great week.
Great matchups. You can tell some of the players were rusty. They haven't played in a while, and that you're tended to see that.
And this opened discussion out for other leagues.
And other leagues are like eyeing in, taking notes of how the Bundesliga are doing it. And recently, the Premier League saying they're opening up, they're starting to reopen training camps in the next 24 hours, hoping to restart their season in mid-June, which is a terrific thing to see for soccer fans out there.
Obviously, it all depends on the country, so not every soccer league can open up right away because some countries are worse than others, so you got to take that in consideration.
And one thing that I found out is that soccer leagues in Indonesia and Bolivia, I believe, they have their soccer leagues going on as well. But as you know, the Bundesliga is one of those premier leagues of the world right now, the best one that's continuing right now. Hopefully, we get to see Serie A, which is the league in Italy. But that was the Premier League in England. Hopefully, they can restart theirs, and hopefully, the rest of the world can reopen their leagues, just like in America. Hopefully, if you could get baseball back, hopefully get basketball back, and hopefully
stay tuned for future videos because we will talk about baseball and how they're gonna open up.
Exactly, and hopefully we can see the NFL restarting, starting on time for September, which I believe they will. I believe they're taking the right steps and the process to making sure that happens. Fans or no fans, there will be an NFL season. I believe that.
I feel like they are looking at how the Bundesliga is being played out.
For sure,
I feel like every
sports league are taking notes.
Are taking notes with this. Because this is groundbreaking. This is really something new. This is actually history in the makings right now.
Exactly.
That's what they're doing.
And as you know, me and Omar, we're still learning a lot from the Bundesliga. We know a lot more than before we started doing on this Gameday Nation. So let us know if you want us to continue reviewing the Bundesliga or any sports league out there. If you want us to review the KBO, we will do it as well. Shout out to Korea out there. But yeah, please let us know you want us to continue reviewing the Bundesliga, because we want to bring out more soccer content for all you guys, football fans out there. Remember, other than the U.S., they call soccer football.
Yeah.
So all my football fans out there, and for the Germans, Fußball. Let us know if you want us to do more of these videos. All right, so we'll stay tuned for this coming weekend. We'll do more of the Bundesliga, but let's switch over to the Ronney Rule that the NFL has in place for if you have a minority GM, you can get more draft picks.
So, for the people who don't know what the Ronney Rule is, it's really affirmative action. That's what it is. Helps minorities to get the position or a higher job that he really wouldn't get because of, the color of the skin or something. Or not even the color of the skin. It could also be because you're a woman, or that's really what minorities are. People who are like very few, select few people, right? How do I feel about it? I feel like it shouldn't really take place.
You don't think so?
In my opinion, I'm not discrediting I believe women should actually get that position. I feel like what's that called? Oh, it should be ethnic diverse as well for GMs. But I feel like if you can do your job well, you should get recognized that you can complete your tasks. I don't feel like you should hop in line to automatically get your position. I feel like if you deserve it, you deserve it.
Exactly.
If you earn it, you get the spot.
I feel that.
It shouldn't be affirmative action on this spot. And I don't know.
I feel like I can see where the NFL is trying to go with this.
I understand it too. They're really trying to be more diverse in this whole
exactly, and you appreciate that. But at the same time, I don't think it's the right thing to go with.
I feel like they're ruining someone else's chances for getting in that position.
I'm not really sure about that. I mean, it's tricky. I'm pretty sure there's probably like one season thing. They're like
to test it out,
see how it goes. They're like, you know what? Let's just cut this out to do something else. To encourage NFL owners to hire minority GMs, right?
Yeah, I believe that. That's a great thing. There's only two right now black GMs in the league right now. The GM for the Dolphins and the GM for the Cleveland Browns. However, I honestly believe that they shouldn't really have this rule. They shouldn't enforce it in any type of way. They're not enforcing it, right? It's just an option.
I believe it's an option. Yeah, they're not forcing anything. Yeah.
So I don't think they should really have it. I mean, think about it. If you require draft picks for hiring a minority GM, that will most likely mean a lot of these teams will start to hire just to get the draft picks. So I don't know. I feel like it all depends on the owners.
I mean, it sounds nice to have like a couple extra draft picks.
And wait, and think about this. Why am I to the owners who are GMs? That's another thing you gotta look at.
The owners who are GMs?
Yeah, because
you do have Jerry Jones there. You're right.
He is the GM of the organization.
But dude, I don't think that's too long.
So I don't know. I don't think it will work. Good idea. I mean, having more minority.
Oh, by the way, the two minority GMs right now is Andrew Berry and Chris Greer. Chris Greer is for the Dolphins, and Andrew Berry is for the Browns.
Yep.
Just put that out there.
So I feel like it's a great idea, just to have more minorities. However, I don't think the whole concept on how it will work will suffice at all. I feel like.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how this all plays out. I mean, why not go with it? See how far it can go with. Well, ultimately, I mean, I do appreciate NFL trying to do something like this, trying to get more how you call it, more ethnicity in the NFL, more of a melting pot.
But I mean, it's already a melting pot. It's mainly on the
I'm talking about
management position.
That's what I'm talking about in the front office, because you already know. On the field, it's a bunch of it's a huge amount of
everyone.
And I love to see that. You love to see that, right? But we want to see more of the front office. So I appreciate NFL doing it. Maybe not the best decision, but we'll see how far it goes with that, right?
But moving on to James Harrison. Man, this dude, I don't know what to say. So if you watched that video on Friday, we said that James Harrison, he did say when he hit, I forgot this man's name, hit a wide receiver who technically injured him, took him out of the game with a concussion. He was fined $75,000, and next thing you know, he received an envelope from Mike Tomlin, right? So just recently, over the weekend, he backtracked and said, "Oh no, that's not what I meant." About this and that and that. He backtracked his whole statement, and then it just made you think, like, wait a second, you don't just say it just because. That's not how it works.
That's true.
If you know James Harrison, I said this before, soft-spoken, tells the truth always minding his business, does what he has to do, and that's it. When he does press coverages or anything like that, he doesn't really say much. He says what he has to say, right? But he made this statement. All eyes are on him now.